Well, hello to everyone out there watching. So today is our first show, our first episode of All About Your Home and Real Estate. So we are live today, and I'm really excited, really happy that we are doing this. Um, as you all know, we've been licensed for a very long time, and over all the years, we've had people asking us all sorts of questions about if I do this, if I do that, if I over improve, and what should I do remodeling wise. So I thought, let's just put it all together, create a little show. And so that's what we're doing. So today being Friday, and hopefully every Friday, I'll be bringing a different guest on. And so today's guest is all about DIY, do it yourself. So I am bringing on Mike Sylvester. He is a superstar, I call him, in do it yourself. He has done so much to his own home. And so I'm just really, really excited that he's on today to just give us some information on how, what, where, tools, how hard is it to do, etc. So I'm going to bring him on, and let's see if I can get him here and add him to the stream. Hi, Mike.
Hello. How are you?
Doing good, doing well. So happy that you're here today. So this is our first episode. And I'm just really excited that we're starting this Q&A basically to answer so many questions that people have about doing things on their own. So not everybody can go hire somebody to do all the, improvements to their house. So I know I've been in your house and you have a great house. I love what you've done. So I'm really excited that you're here. So you want to give a brief bio of yourself or some information so everyone knows who you are?
I would say, well, my name is Mike Sylvester, and I live in the same community as Debby here. And I would say, as far as DIYs or passion for it, was actually coming from my wife. We, years ago, we didn't, like anybody, you have humble beginnings and you don't know how to do anything. You didn't have enough money to pay for a contractor. And she was like, you need to learn how to do this. I'm not going to pay a tile guy. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And luckily, over the years, YouTube was invented and magazines were always there, and it was always trial and error. But I think that's where it started, where I've learned how to do it. And of course, the more tools you get, the more stuff you can do. So building your collection of tools and is also building your collection of knowledge at the same exact time. And you couple that with nowadays with Pinterest and Instagram and everything else, and TV shows, HGTV and Chip and Joanna and all these people. It's almost there for you now. You actually have a picture and you could simply just copy it and put your own flavor to it. And that's what we do.
No, it's so true. And I'm glad you brought up YouTube. I mean, I know you've told me that you've gone onto YouTube and really gotten so many tutorials from how to do what. Yeah. And I know, years ago that was not accessible. That was not around, for us to be able to, grab other people's video of how to do whatever it is. And Pinterest, oh my gosh, I could get lost on Pinterest. There's so many ideas and so many thoughts, and in the house, outside the house, your garden. I mean, from A to Z, there's so much to do, so much to follow.
Right.
So great avenues to go down to find your ideas and what you want to do for any part of your house.
Absolutely.
So with this thought, I was making some notes and just thinking about what to talk to you about. And so you mentioned tools, so if somebody wants to get into DIY, do they really need to have like a whole slew of tools, or?
No, you don't. You want to start small. I mean, unless you got unlimited income, but I don't know anybody that's got that. So, luckily, if there's anything you specifically need, places rent them, like a Home Depot or a Lowe's. But I think at minimum, because I have a feeling you're going to ask me what should I have as far as my first tool. Outside of, a hammer and screwdriver and stuff like that, obviously a drill, and that's something that's handheld. And then if you want to step it up a little bit, I think your first tool that you should probably buy is going to be a miter saw, also known as a chop saw, which, one of those, and you can cut it straight, you can cut it at angles, and with that, miter saw, which nowadays you can get for $100 or less, at Home Depot, Lowe's, and all those other places, or even on Facebook Marketplace if you find a used one. You'll really be good to go then. And then you start, the more you get into it, it's an addictive thing, doing DIYs. As soon as you do one room, then you're like, okay, well, what can I do in the next room, and how can I step that up?
Yeah.
And of course, every time you do that, you need another tool. And
yeah.
if you're married like me, then you are going to you're going to need to sell or make the case to your spouse that, hey, I really need this in order to really create this.
Especially if that's their vision, they want that done. Okay, so then if I'm going to do that, I need this.
Absolutely. Yeah. But like I said, luckily, Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight, they all sell these type of things. And luckily, as far as tools goes, if you're like me and you stick with one brand like Ryobi, they have interchangeable batteries. So you never have to have a single power source. You can always just take it and put a battery on this one, and now you have a circular saw, and now you have a sawzall, and now you have this, and now you have that.
That's good to know. I had no idea. With all that. That's great to know. So you can interchange that battery into the different tool.
Yeah.
So that's really smart. Really smart. Hey, so go back on that statement about the saw. So is a miter saw the same as a cut saw?
It has different names, but usually the two most popular name is a miter saw or a chop saw.
Chop saw.
What it does, you literally you just cut it straight down. It's not a table saw where you're pushing plywood through. It's like for a 2x4 or a 1x2, and you can either make a straight cut or you can do it at an angle. So if you want to make like a picture frame or something like that, or you want to change your baseboards, or you want to add crown molding, it has all of the degrees associated with each and every one of those things.
Okay, and that's good to know, because I've questioned that myself, because I have all these dreams. I know one of the times that we sat inside your house, I talked about all the things I want to do in my house, and between my schedule, of course, and I thought, I don't have the tools, and if I wanted to get a saw, I even asked for one for Christmas. I didn't get it, but I asked for one for Christmas.
You want me to talk to your husband?
What's that?
You want me to talk to your husband?
Maybe so. But I was thinking, I didn't know what type to even get. And I understand what you're saying now. So the table saw, where you have a long piece of wood that you push through. Okay, I know that. So the chops, is it C-H-O-P?
Yeah, like a chop, like a karate chop.
Okay, so the chop saw also does the miter cuts, because I know you have to have those miter cuts in a lot of what you do having to do with wood.
Right.
Okay, good to know, because I'm going to show your Instagram picture or page in a minute, and I know you did a lot of things, and I'm only going to show a segment, but some of the things that you did, I like a fireplace. I want to do a fireplace. Yours is all brick. I wanted a brick front, but then I wanted, I'm not sure about the top piece of it, but I knew I'd need to have a saw to build what's behind the fireplace.
Yeah, you'll need a couple of things on that. There's actually a tutorial on how to do that, 2 parts.
So just FYI for everybody. So Mike's, both your Facebook page and your Instagram is Passports and Pane.
Right.
But on the Instagram page, you have a whole slew of tutorials. And so when you go on his page, you'll see all these different things or remodeling type of items that he did DIY. And there's a tutorial on all of them. So that's really great that you did. That's helpful.
There's about 40 of them out there.
40. Okay. See, I knew you've done a lot to your house. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question with all this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to jump and put your page up, and I want to show you some of those things. So with all that, because I'm a realtor, I'm always looking through a realtor eyes. I've done this for so long. I'm always thinking, creating a value to your house. So with what you've done to your house, tell me what you think about when you did it. Did you do it purely because you loved the idea? Did you have in your mind, it's going to add value to my house if I go to sell it? So what was the mindset?
It's both of those. So I think being a previous homeowner, which I know a lot of your people are also first-time homeowners. So from a previous homeowner standpoint, and I know you didn't ask this, Debbie, but I'm going to throw this out there is I always have to look ahead of what I'm actually going to do to my house. Not only will I have to love it, because I know that I will, but will it actually have value? But more importantly is, will it box in my next, home buyer, of making them think that they have to live in this home, and it may turn them off from a sale. So whatever the theme is, like this last 5 to 10 years is this modern farmhouse vibe that's going on. I would urge anybody to make sure when you're building something that if there was no more farmhouse decor, could it be something else, right? Could it be, if it's woodworking, could it be a craftsman style, or could somebody do a beachy theme, or could somebody do, mid-century? Could somebody do that? That's the way I think. Now, did I do that when I first home 20 years ago? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because that thing was colorful and crazy, and I wouldn't buy it. But now this is the way I think. So love comes first. The second is, will it enhance the value of my home? And then third, what will my future home buyers, if I choose to sell, will they also love this, or could they see something different in their future?
Right. No, and it's a really good point, because I've had people question me about putting up backsplash, for instance.
Yeah.
Do I put something neutral? Do I put a color? So it's one of those hard questions to answer, because I'm all about, like what you said, it has to transform into what do I love now, but what will the next buyer walking in the front door, what they want. And so do I put up a white? Do I put up neutral? And then add color to all the accessories.
Right.
So I think it's important to have that thought process. I'm going to try and put up your, let's see, I'm going to put up your Facebook page here real quick.
While you're doing that, I would say, I would say that the big question I think as a homeowner you should ask yourself, or you as a realtor should ask a homeowner, and when they ask you those questions, is how long do you plan on staying in your home? If they think it's going to be 5 or 10 years, no problem. You don't want to just put something in there and then be stuck with it for 5 or 10 years. You got to really love it. So if they want to put it colorful and neon and do whatever, and they know they're going to be there for 5 or 10 years, and maybe right before they sell, they can change it.
No, I think that's a great idea, because if it's something of color, like if it's a backsplash, that can come out. It's not as easy, because you could damage a drywall behind. Absolutely. But it's just going to be extra repair to the drywall, and then you can change it to something neutral. If it's blue and pink and purple, whatever bright colors, somebody may not be interested in that. So I put up your page here, and for everybody to kind of take a look. I thought it was really, really great. There's a few items that you've done, and your fireplace is where I first got the idea of, wait, maybe we can do this without hiring somebody, and it's going to cost me $5,000 or $7,000 to get done. Now, I know yours is not operational; it's more for decor. But somebody could put an electric insert in that, and it's really very cool. And I pulled up your Instagram page, and so all of this is all about your Halloween fall decorations.
Very fall today.
What is that?
I said I feel like I'm very much into fall right here today.
Well, I think if you look at this, you definitely will. I mean, you decorate your house for every holiday. So if it's Christmas or Halloween or spring, so everything in your Instagram page looks like the holiday, which is really great. But some of the things that I noticed when I was in your house was a ceiling. Let me get into here. So this picture right here, I'm going to try and get that up there. It's not coming. Well, it's the house, the picture that's down below that has your ceiling in it, right here. So I thought it was very interested in that, because I've got a couple areas that I could do that with. So I'm up. It's coming up now. So I'm kind of tied between doing beams or a ceiling like that. Now, is that a hard project to do?
That was actually super simple. The only awkward piece of it is you could technically do it on your own, but it's always good to get a friend. And if you need to order a pizza to feed them to help you out holding the beams up while you nail them in,
Yeah.
that would be perfect. But I have to be honest with you, the beams alone, super cheap project. I mean, just putting up those two beams, if I remember correctly, for both of them was under $150. I mean, the cedar cost more because cedar's expensive, but
Yeah.
I just
mean,
want. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so think about that. Even if a homeowner didn't want to put the planks across and just the beams,
Yeah.
what type of impact that has? And so you spent about $150 for what? Two beams?
Two beams. I think it was even less than that. I just, it's been a couple of years, so I remember. But yeah, $150. That makes a huge statement when your, home buyers are coming in.
Absolutely. I mean, if I were to hire somebody, a carpenter, to come in
Yeah.
to do it, it's going to be quite expensive, but which is great because some people cannot do it, won't do it, don't have the time to do it, and don't know how to do it. So hiring somebody is great for some people.
Right.
But if you've got any inkling of creativity or you want to try something, it's a great project. Is that a beginner project or is that not a beginner project?
I think if anybody can literally throw on a YouTube video or an Instagram or Pinterest, there is so many directions on how to do this.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's worth, you made a really good comment about hiring a contractor to do it. And I would say on average, a good rule of thumb is whatever the materials cost, a contractor is going to charge you 2 to 4 times more than what the materials cost. So let's just say in this case, and it was just, I'll go in the middle and it was 3. This would cost you over $600 to do because you got to pay for the material.
Right.
They probably get the material. Not that I'm downplaying contractors, but everybody has to make a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of you spending let's say an $8 on one piece of wood, he may be charging you $11 for that piece of wood.
Okay.
On top of the labor. And, this is something that, like I said, $150 or less, you can do it all in one afternoon.
Good to know. That was one of the questions I was going to ask about time. So I'm sure simpler projects, and I'm not saying it's simple, but simpler projects take a lot less time, but otherwise it's going to be, could be days worth that you could be out of a room getting a project done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was really nice. And I remember sitting at your dining table thinking, that's one thing I want to do. And, add some beams. It's like I have a tray ceiling in my master bedroom. Perfect.
Even perfect. Yeah.
Perfect for that. So let me see if I can remove that. And I was going to try and see if there's another picture of that.
I got beams in my master, if you can get to that picture, along with a board and batten on the back.
See, and that is awesome. That's one of the things that I think we're all interested in. Let me get rid of that. Everyone's doing that these days, putting that trim work up on their bedroom wall, family room wall, living room wall. It's not that, it's that adhesive back wallpaper.
Yeah.
Which is easy to remove.
Yeah.
Or easier than wallpaper. And it's beautiful. It just makes such a statement in your house. So again, I'm a believer in doing what you want to do that you love for your own home, but something that is easily transferable to that buyer walking in the house.
Correct.
And that type of wallpaper, I've put it up, but I haven't taken it down. So I don't know if it damages the paint or drywall.
If it's a peel and stick, no. It may pull up a little bit of paint, but here in Florida, unlike some of our northern people, we have textured walls here. So it's orange peel. So worst case scenario, it pulls off a little bit of the paint, but the texture usually stays.
That I was just gonna say that's easy peasy. I mean, you get your paint down and paint the wall, so that's
Yeah.
easy.
I'm doing a project in my guest bedroom now, and I had wallpaper in there, and I don't know.
Oh,
I put it up because it was kind of cool, but we got tired of it. So
well, and that's just it. You know, with a lot of these things that are DIY, you can, if you do get tired of it, you can just change it out so quickly. And going back to your statement, if you're doing shiplap, that can lend farm, but that can lend in so many different ways, beachy or whatever. So I think some of those type of projects are definitely a do. Go ahead and do those things because, gosh, even in springtime, you want it to be more beachy look.
right,
Great. In the fall, you want it to look more, I don't know, like you're up north somewhere.
right.
Great. You can do that.
This is shiplap behind me here, and this is a male office that's black. And I feel like you can, like you said, I'm just backing up what you're saying here. It's you can use it for anything. So shiplap doesn't necessarily mean farmhouse, which is great. And shiplap is ready available at Home Depot and Lowe's, extremely cheap. We're talking $6 for an 8-foot piece.
Wow. And I love how you painted it black.
Well, I had to get a little manly in here, little manly in here.
No, it's great. Because I think most of us are just used to seeing white shiplap.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be white.
Nope. Doesn't have to be white at all.
Yeah. And so it's very manly. It's very handsome. And even someone who has a lot of black and white decor can go black without it being manly. They can add other decor to it. So,
right.
Yeah, good choice. Love it. Love it. I had something else. Let's see if I can get your pictures back up here. I'm going to get out of that and go back to your page. I have a lot of things pulled up. So, there you go. So there's our fireplace if anybody wanted to see that. So that's pure brick. Is that real brick, Mike?
Yeah, they're brick veneers. I got it at Floor and Decor, and and the tile too. So the tile came from Floor and Decor, and just to give you a 10-second overview for anybody that's interested in this, like I said, the tutorial is up on there. But I basically just built a box. I bought some drywall and I cut it, made it fit, screwed it in, and literally started putting the brick on here just with mortar. And then you put more mortar inside of all the joints. I'm pointing to it like you guys can see it. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I can minimize this.
No, I was pointing to it like you guys are here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I simply just painted it with iron ore, and that matched the tiles pretty good. Built a mantle out of some old cypress from a local mill. And the top, as you can see, is shiplap. So wanted to get a lot of good elements in here, some raw wood, some shiplap, and of course some brick.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's entirely DIY. So the tile on the hearth is real tile. You built the box that the tile is adhered to, and the brick is real brick veneer that you painted into what was the color? The paint?
Iron Ore by Sherwin-Williams.
Iron ore. And so I see that you put the tile as well inside the fireplace as well, since it's not a working fireplace, it's more decorative.
Right. And you can always add there is electricity there. So if I ever wanted to plug in one of those fake looking firewood things with that, I could always do that. I just didn't because we don't spend a lot of time in that room. It's just for show.
It's for looks.
Yeah. It's for
and I love how you have the shiplap, the brick, the wood, the tile, and again, this is just your fall Halloween picture. But if anyone goes to your Passports and Penny Instagram, they'll see how you've decorated for Christmas and other holidays. And so there's so much you can do with this. And again, with the amount that you spent on something like that, was it very expensive to do?
I'll put it to you this way. If I would say that whole project was, I'm going to throw a number. I don't know if it's absolutely right, but I would say it was probably between $750 and $1,000. And it took me a few weekends because, as you can see, it's very, very detailed.
Very detailed.
But using the analogy from before about using a contractor, I don't know if a contractor would come out and build all of those things. Like, I don't know if you'd have to have a separate one for a carpenter and then another one for a brick layer or a tile layer. I think it'd be a little daunting, but if you did find somebody to do it, I guarantee you that would probably be about a $6,000 or a $7,000 or an $8,000 job. And
I totally agree with you. And I think again, if you go back to your tutorials of how you did the steps, and it sure takes a couple of weekends or 4 weekends, whatever, to get it done, unless you're able to take a week or two off of work and then you get it done. But it turned out beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely do love it, and that's one of the reasons I wanted the saw from my husband for Christmas, was because I wanted to build a fireplace. So our kids also live in this community, and so our son-in-law.
So you have child labor that you could use.
I could. And actually, what he did build a fireplace, a Shiplap fireplace with an electric inset. They built that in their family room. And nice. So I know he's got the tools. I could probably coax them to come over and help and use his labor. I mean, of course, I'd pay him to do something, but I'm very hands-on, and I love doing this. So I know I need some help, I'm sure. So that might be the next upcoming project for me to do. So maybe I'll be my own guest next time on the DIY.
Each other.
There you go. Go from one, go to the other. Well, I think this is great. I just hope the audience can, reach out to you if there's any questions. I know you're on Facebook with the same name. You're on Instagram with the same name, and your tutorials are there. I would suggest anybody who's going to Pinterest to also go to your Instagram page, because the ideas are many. There's plenty of ideas of how, what, where, and the how-tos.
I'm on Pinterest as well, so all my ideas came from there, so you could see where they all originated. And I actually have them all separated into this specific home or next home or outdoor stuff and everything as well, too.
Right. I love it. I love it. And so, I just want people to realize, again, going back to some things I said early on, is that over all the years of real estate that I've been part of, we've had so many people ask us questions about, if I do this, if I do that, will it over improve my house? Will it add value to my house? Should I do this? And so this is one of the reasons why I decided to start this series, is because in 20 years, people have asked so many questions. And so just having people like yourself who know what to be on here to let people know, it's easier projects, harder projects, depends on what they want to tackle, but it does increase the value of their house. And I think that's important for people to realize. And I look at two things: how fast will your house sell? That's the saleability factor. And how much more value does it add? So, by doing some of these things probably would help your house sell quicker. I mean, we're in a fast moving market right now, but at the same token, in a normal market where there's a big choice of homes to buy from, the house with all those beautiful attributes that you've added will definitely increase the saleability factor. Yeah. And
thinking about and comparing it to other homes that don't have that.
Absolutely. I mean, so it'll increase the value of your house, so you can ask a higher price for the house. But if someone's not wanting to put the money in the house or has the time to do it, and they have your house versus the neighboring house, it's almost a no-brainer that I would love to have that house because it's already there.
Right. What do you call it? Is ready to move in, or move in ready, or something?
Move-in ready. Yeah, move-in ready. Absolutely. And then when you get the house ready and it's all decorated, that helps sell a house. So I'm a certified in staging, and so I help our people, our listings with their stage to sell. And so I just go in there and say this of how to do this, how to do that. And so with that, to have what you have in your house, it's easy, to decorate a little here and decorate a little there, because you have things to decorate with. So it's really great.
Takes a lot of storage for that.
That's another show, Mike. because I remember seeing, I think you put in your hall closet, you put a rod up for all your wreaths.
Yeah.
So I think that's ingenious.
Yeah.
I kind of copied that, and in my garage we have the garage shelving.
Yeah.
So it has those extra poles. It's like, okay, all my Christmas outdoor wreaths are hanging on that.
Yeah. Everything off the ground is really the key in the garage for us.
Absolutely. You know, and I'm halfway there. I'm not quite there. Anyways, Mike, I'm going to say thank you to coming on. I appreciate it. And then again, anyone who wants to reach out to Mike, feel free to. You've got his Facebook and his Instagram. It's Passports, plural, Passports and Penny. So you can go see everything he's done. And of course, this particular show will be, we're live right now, but it's going to be what we call evergreen. So it's going to sit on our YouTube channel, the Words Group YouTube channel. It'll sit on my Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn right now as well. So this will sit, so people may want to come back and grab and ask, look at some of the things that we talked about. So they'll be there. It's being recorded, so it's all good for that. So I will say goodbye, Mike, and thank you much for coming on. And until next time.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
So I want to thank everybody for joining in and watching. And like I just was explaining, that we'll have this up as an evergreen type of show. So if you want to jump onto our YouTube channel, my Facebook page, it'll be on the Words Group Facebook page. We have a website that we are rebuilding, and so it'll be on our new website that'll be live probably in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, give or take. And so we'll have a page dedicated to these as well. So if there's any questions, feel free to direct message me and ask away. Go to Mike's page and ask him, because he is the master of all DIY. So I'm going to say goodbye. I've been on here a long time. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next Friday.